Quest is changing. The release of the Vision Pro has caused some internal turmoil from within Meta.
You should be pissed. You've been had.
With Boz and Zuck stating that, well, the Quest is just a better headset. But this has also led to some significant plans to change how the Quest looks. And over the next few months, your Quest could go from looking like this to something closer to this. But that's not everything. From gaze and voice commands within V63, a new foot tracking method, to some good news about GTA San Andreas. Strap in for this week's worth of VR news. Now, starting with the potential of foot tracking for the Quest. As of V62 and the V63 PTC update, something called multimodal controller tracking is now available, and this essentially means that we will be able to track your controllers and hands independently of each other. This is now available on public apps in the Meta Quest store through the SDK and from within the V63 PTC in the settings menu. And what this could enable is more tracking methods like this, shown by Luna on X. By attaching your controllers to your feet, you could have near full body tracking in apps like VRChat. But as for now, there are still limitations. Strangely, tracking methods are not compatible with one another. Inside the SDK, you can't choose to have multiple tracking methods. So for example, the inside-out body tracking, where your elbow position and upper body is tracked, won't be compatible with the multimodal tracking, or the fast hands tracking. I'm sure this is to iron out the kinks, and at some point I can picture this all being one system, but for now it's nice to have the options, and I can't wait to see what developers do with this. It seems one way or another we are heading closer towards full body tracking, just slightly more slowly than I expected. Now, as mentioned a second ago, somehow already V63 public chess channel is now rolling out, and while it mostly seems to be bug fixes, there are references to gaze and voice commands within the PTC code. This is no doubt in response to the Vision Pro gesture-based operating system. The gaze would work by simply using head movements as opposed to using the controller or even your hands. The pinch gestures on the Vision Pro is what seems to be an effective, more natural system of interacting with the user interface. And while the Quest 3 doesn't have eye tracking, a gaze cursor in combination with the voice commands could provide something similar. From what I've seen so far, the V63 PTC includes minor fixes and the multimodal hand tracking option I talked about earlier. But while we're on the subject of talking about Apple and the Quest, it seems Boz and Zuck have been pretty vocal how they feel about the Vision Pro, and here's a snippet of what Zuck thinks about the Vision Pro.
But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think the Quest is the better product, period. And you know, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets, they have different strengths, but overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for.
While I won't give my full opinion on this comparison as I haven't tried the Vision Pro, I can see why Zuck and Boz are so vocal about this. They've been working on this hardware for years, and Apple just seems to get the spotlight while seemingly casting a shadow on a headset with twice the features at a fraction of the cost. Boz also talked about the Vision Pro in his most recent AMA, and as you could tell by the clip at the beginning of this video, he's not too happy with Apple keeping a highly closed ecosystem, but holds essentially the same view as Zuck in regards to a comparison. But probably the most interesting thing in his most recent AMA was a mention to overhaul the Quest's user interface to what I think to compete more directly with the simplicity and ease of use of the Vision Pro's UI. Here's the clip.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is something that long before even AVP was on the scene is something we've been looking at and spending some time on, and we have some pretty exciting designs and really actually reworking some of the core UI infrastructure to be able to enable a richer environment. It's been in the works for a while and making good progress. So the answer is yes. I don't have a timeline for you. It's not super soon, but yeah, it's on the way.
If you want to watch the whole AMA, I'll leave a link to the video that DSAX put together in the description. But now onto some good news about a game we've all been waiting for, San Andreas VR. For the longest time we've been waiting for any sort of news about this game, and while we did a deep dive a while back and know it's being made by Rockstar's sister company, Video Games Deluxe, the team behind LA Noire VR, they are actively hiring and employing VR game developers. As per LinkedIn, we haven't really heard anything solid. Well, that was until now. Meta responded to someone asking about whether they had any updates about GTA VR, and well, they responded this. We are so glad you reached out to express your excitement for the release of Grand Theft Auto. We completely understand your anticipation for the upcoming adventures in this game. Currently we don't have any new information about the release date, but don't worry, the game has not been cancelled, so keep an eye on our blogs for any future updates on this. Strangely, the post was deleted shortly after, so that does cast doubt as to why they are being so secretive. Just hopefully we hear something more official soon, because this is just enough crumbs to keep us going. Two other games related news is the highly competitive PC VR game Veil is now available on Quest, and is off to a good start with mostly positive reviews. The game is being compared to the Counter-Strike of VR. And on that note, if you'd like to play the Call of Duty of VR, Contractors Showdown is now in beta. And as of the beginning of March, the open beta will begin. And I cannot praise this game enough. It is incredible how they've managed a 44-player battle royale with a 16km map with graphics like this running natively on Quest. But when it drops, I highly recommend trying it out, because it could truly be one of the best games on Quest. If you like the video, subscribe, and follow me on X, Twitch and TikTok if you're interested. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.